Hi and welcome to Crack the Canvas. I'm Bash and I'm figuring out digital art the only way I know how, by just doing it. Today I'm going to design the logo for this brand new channel. So let's get started and let's crack the canvas. So for my first ever video, I'm going to show you how I designed the logo for this channel. I do it in a program called Krita. Why I choose this program is because I did some research on the topic and I found out it's free, it's open source, and it's quite good for beginners, especially if you have some knowledge and some experience in, using software in general. Yeah, I'm starting completely from scratch with this program, and I hope by the time we have like 10 videos, I'm getting used to using the different features of the program, and maybe you want to join in and try the program yourself. Feel free to, go along this journey with me, and maybe you want to crack the canvas as well. One thing I would like you to know is that I used some AI for setting up this whole channel. Not in the way that it wrote the channel for me or wrote what I'm reading right now. It's just that I needed some inspiration, and I feel like AI can be really helpful in a way that you just keep spitballing ideas and stuff like that. So I used AI for brainstorming mainly, and I did have some ideas for this logo, but I didn't really know how to, bring the components together. So I was spitballing ideas with the AI to, get the outcome I wanted to, and actually had the AI generate a picture as a reference for me. It helped me a lot because, as I said before, I'm a beginner. I'm a total beginner with all this digital art and art in general. So yeah, it just helps me to know what I want to do and to visualize things, because this is something I'm not really good at yet. But I just want to make it clear that AI was used as a reference for this picture. And I want you to know that I want to use it as a tool, not as a shortcut. And I'll always be open about it when I use it. Because I know it's a very difficult topic, especially in the art community, for obvious reasons. Yeah, so going on with this channel in the future, I hope I need less and less AI to help me guide through the process, and that's kind of, the main goal, I guess. Yeah, so as you can see, I just laid out the canvas here, and I did some hand lettering as well, because I felt like it just shows my progress so far. Progress meaning that I do have some experience in using digital art programs, but not in the sense of, creating art myself. But I feel like when I used programs like that, I usually just use a text field to put in some text. And with this project, I really wanted to put everything in by hand. Yeah, maybe some words to my creative background. I'm, as you can see, not a professional artist, not an artist at all, I would say. But I recently got into some minor projects that I just did for myself. Last year, I was inspired to get into game development, because I'm a gamer myself and I really like to play games, and I always admire when people can do like create whole worlds that you just experience. It's such a such a great thing to experience. So I thought, hey, why not? Coding might be interesting for me too. So I got into it, actually also using AI. And this is something that got me into pixel art, because I knew that I was not good at drawing. So I thought, hey, maybe get into pixel art and start creating some characters there that you can use. But this is when I started really looking into art, really looking into colors, because I had to realize very quickly that pixel art is not easier than regular art. It has its own little rules, own little community, and it's very welcoming, I have to say. So if you want to get into pixel art, it's really easy. and there are a lot of great tutorials online. But yeah, as I said, I always have these kind of projects. So game development was a project for me to get into, coding for once, secondly the pixel art, and thirdly to creating music, original music. And this kind of yeah, made me realize that I really wanted to do more creative work. And recently I watched a lot of YouTube videos by probably people you know, and I just recently got to know. The channel Drawfee was one of the main things that inspired me to, you're never too old to learn new things, and I was thinking the only thing I want to learn is how to draw these kind of characters that those people draw. And then I thought to myself, well, if I just start without a project, this might get really boring. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's share the experience, let's share the journey with people out there who might also be struggling, who might have ideas, but they're not, trying to realize them because they think, oh, I'm not good enough or something. Yeah, so I thought, let's share the experience, and maybe it helps you overcome your own fear. As you can see on the picture I'm drawing, I decided to visually crack the canvas open, and I'm fiddling around with some colors. In the end I choose not using them in the middle, but you will see that later. But I'm really happy with the crack itself, because I think it adds to the whole thing, the splash of color and just the chaos of it, because I am quite the perfectionist, and it's really hard for me to share like unfinished progress, or to share things that I'm not 100% happy with. And that's another reason for me to start this channel, just to intentionally share things that are not perfect, and to share things that are imperfect. So yeah, I've got this kind of motto for this channel. It's like, this is a learning journey, not a show reel. And because when you go to YouTube and you see all those pictures people are drawing, it's easy to feel like, oh, you're not good enough, you will never get there. But actually what I learned, especially over the last year with trying game development and pixel art, is you're just as good as you let yourself be. So let's just start it. And even if after a year or after 2 weeks or after whatever amount of time you feel like, nah, that's not for me, or you don't have the energy to continue doing this, or maybe it's for myself, myself, after 2 weeks I feel like, oh my god, this is so much to do, maybe I should scale down a bit. That's okay, because in the process you learn a lot of things, and that's pretty much the goal with the channel, is to keep going, and maybe by inspiring other people, having more reason to continuing the project. Yeah, here you see me continuing with the crack, like getting the crack into the canvas itself, and I think it turned out really well at the end. I'm really struggling with the color choices of the crack, because I feel like it's two separate parts that are of course cracked, but you cannot really see that there's a crack. There's a lot of depth missing, and I'm really struggling to get that in there. In the end I find that there is only one way to do it for me, but we'll get there. Actually, I thought about getting something like a hammer, putting a nail on top, but then I felt like, well, what does that have to do with anything? So I decided against it. Yeah, and if you're wondering what kind of brushes I use, I have no idea. They're just the standard brushes that are on Krita. So I just use them and fiddled around with them and try to make them work. If anything, I will hopefully, during the process of getting better and getting to know the program better, get some brushes in the future and maybe also referencing them for you to, use them yourself. But for now, I'm just using what I have because I feel like it's the easiest. And sometimes it's just easier to just start, just begin with whatever and get an outcome that you might like, but also an outcome that you feel like in 2 months' time, oh my gosh, this is so bad. I could have used so many different tools to make my life easier or to make it look better. So yeah, that's also something I have in mind about this logo, is it probably will change over time. I feel like the better I get, hopefully, the better the logo will get. And yeah, it kind of feels like I could showcase my progress through the logo as well. I'm actually adding these little stylized pixel kind of things in the top now, and I realized that this is a great visualization of my art journey, you can say, because I started with only pixels and then I want to crack it open. And yeah, my idea was to, like, crack the canvas and let the pixels fly out and say goodbye to perfection and, embrace the imperfection. So that's all I could think of to fill the crack with in the end, and I think it turned out really great. I'm also very proud of that pen in the bottom of the canvas. I think it looks really comic-y and really good. I was struggling with the color later on. I think I, tried out different colors to see if the pen would be better in red or orange or in blue. But in the end, I sticked with the blue, and I think it's a good choice. Yeah, here you see me adding in some like crevices into the crack, and because I wanted to distinguish the paper from the canvas to the ripped up part, and I didn't really get there in the end. I tried a few things, but it just kept looking like, I don't know, like a stone or a rock that just cracked, and that's not what I was going for. So in the end I decided to cover everything up and yeah, dive into the pixel idea to, get the pixels like coming out of the canvas, like the pixels are part of the physical canvas. And I think that's probably better. Actually, I will show you my reference the AI gave me after I prompted it, so you can see what I was working with. Of course, it's strongly influenced by what I see there, and I stick to the original quite strictly because I don't have the imagination, and even if I have the imagination, I do not have the skill to just, take my ideas and put them on a canvas. It was easier for me to have something I can just draw off, not like copying it, but of course heavily inspiring myself with it. Yeah, but I think it's okay for me, especially if you want to start something. Don't let people tell you like, oh, you can't use AI or you can't use this tool. If you really want to get into art, you have to do it the blah 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 way. I don't believe in anything of this. I feel like do whatever you need to get started, and of course your goal should be to do your own thing. But if you want to get started, just start the way you feel is good for you. And sometimes, like if you're a person like me, I need to see progress. I need to see I created something that I can be proud of. And this time I feel like I can be really proud of what I made. Of course, it's not perfect, and I know this even now when I look at it. But that's the whole point of the channel, right? So here we go. This is our logo. Raw, cracked, and a little bit bold. I hope you like it. If you have any tips on how I can improve my drawing skills, or on how I can use Krita better, just let me know in the comments. Until then, see you next time, and keep cracking.